Dean Lin asks, we're in a rapidly evolving industry in which the tools and techniques we're learning today may no longer be relevant tomorrow. Peering into the crystal ball, what do you think will be the most important techniques to prioritize learning in the short and medium term?
I'll give you an answer that I think applies every day, and then I'll give you something more concrete. Every day, I try to make a little bit of time to stay up to date around like what is happening, what are the trends, what are the conversations, what are the launches that have happened. You don't have to do all that research yourself, of course. We're talking about agents, we're talking about automation. You could build yourself something small that lets you just watch the feed on Twitter or LinkedIn or any of these other places, RSS, and just creates you a newsletter every morning that you can just quickly absorb and use to catch up on what's changing. Practically speaking, there is almost always in this time going to be more information, more change coming out than you can personally absorb and try out. And so what I do is I try to keep an eye on the big trends every day, every week. And then I'm very explicit about what are the things that are actually going to matter to my job and myself on a personal level that can help me with my productivity or creativity or any of those types of things. And then I will just be very intentional with saying, okay, well, these are things I'm going to add to my list of stuff that I'm going to spend time learning or trying out. And so for any of these things where I think that there's actually a nugget of something interesting I can learn, I try to be very explicit about adding that to the you will try this out column. For some things, it's just going to be in the I'm going to read about this some more column, but I'm not going to try it out just yet. And then there's a lot that goes into the discard pile. And there's gonna be a lot. Every day in my feed, I've got people telling me about brand new model releases from some lab. Maybe I haven't heard of them before. There's gonna be GitHub repos about, hey, this thing is trending. It's got 20,000 stars. And you will feel so much FOMO all the time. You're gonna feel like you are so behind and oh my gosh, how can I stay on top of all of this? The first thing to just realize, we are all feeling that right now. I don't think there is anybody that I can point to in the industry that feels like, hey, I am 100% on top of everything that is happening. More concretely, if there is one topic I would tell you to learn more about this year, it is this idea of orchestration. It is a bigger pattern, but it applies to so much of these things that I just mentioned. So if you are currently largely just, doing I'm giving an LLM a single task to accomplish, it's coming back with a response, and then I'm working with it, I'm iterating, I'm giving it more prompts, I'm spending time with my context engineering and all of the plugins and patterns and things that make that better. If you are currently somebody in that workflow, spend time learning more about how to work with multiple agents. And then if you're looking for specific tools to try out, you've already got access to so many that are either available on a trial or that are available for, close to free. I can give you some examples. So when I talk about orchestration, Conductor for Mac is pretty good. GitHub Copilot agents, I still use that a lot. It's on GitHub. You can, basically come up with a to-do list of things that you want to get done. You can assign it to Copilot, and it can then use models from Anthropic or OpenAI or any of these other places to start implementing your solution. Over at Google, we've got Jules, which uses Gemini. You can do the exact same thing with Jules. But there are so many options here. Basically, every large lab at this point has got an orchestration solution. For Claude Code, there's Claude Code Web. I use that as well. But learn about orchestration. Why am I telling you this? Once you start to get a feel for how you operate with leveraging multiple things, this idea of having a fleet of agents becomes a little bit more digestible to you. And then you can go down further around that path and learn about, okay, well, what does agent to agent coordination look like? What does handing off context from one agent to another look like? Like if they're working on a similar part of the code base and they have to share information about their tasks. You can spend time looking at, Claude Code just announced Swarm support. They're like Claude Code agent teams, which I'm very interested in. Before you get into the weeds of like things that can easily burn a lot of tokens and are very experimental, I would say just start to familiarize yourself with the patterns around that. That's the one thing I would say people need to learn more about this.